Today I am going to show you one of our favorite go-to meals, especially on a shopping day. This is what we call a chicken tortilla casserole. It's basically just deconstructed chicken enchiladas. So the first thing I do is I open a can of enchilada sauce. I believe what we use is a mild red sauce. And I pour that into a bowl, or this is kind of like a pasta bowl, so it's the size of a plate, but it has sides. And then I get some corn tortillas, and I just dip the tortillas into the enchilada sauce and start lining the bottom of the dish. Generally, I just do a single layer of, I think it's generally 6 tortillas, but you could use more, or I guess possibly less, but depends on the size of your baking dish. I think this is a 9x13 Pyrex is what I'm using. This is a very messy step. Sometimes I use tongs, but mostly I just use freshly washed hands, and then I do this right next to the sink so I can keep going back and forth and washing my hands in between the layers. And I do wash my hands in between every single thing that I touch. Next, I saw that I just grabbed the can opener. I think I'm going to open the black olives in a minute. Normally I do buy sliced black olives, but I was just using whatever I had in my pantry. For this particular shopping day, I bought a rotisserie chicken, and I had just taken all the chicken off the bone and put it into a plastic bag, as you can see. And I didn't want to go to the store and buy more olives when I had a can of olives. That little white tool is an olive slicer or an egg slicer. We slice strawberries in it. You can put all kinds of stuff. So I have my mom working on slicing olives, and I put down a layer of shredded chicken. And you can do your own shredded chicken. I just like the rotisserie chicken because it's easier. One rotisserie chicken usually is 3 or 4 meals for our family. And then I put a layer of shredded cheese. And then a layer of olives. Now, my kids don't like olives, so I'm only putting olives on half of the casserole. And that's my mom adding a few more. And then I do another layer. So I start by dipping the tortillas in the enchilada sauce and creating another layer. So it's kind of a Mexican version of a lasagna, if you will. Once I have the layer of tortillas, I just repeat the steps with the chicken, the cheese, and the olives. Sometimes I do more layers with this. Usually I do at least these 2 layers. Sometimes I do 3. It does cook down quite a bit, so even if you did 3 layers in this particular dish, it still would have baked down, and there would have been plenty of room. But we just had that 1 can of olives, and it really wasn't a whole lot of olives at the end of it, so I just did those 2 layers of the chicken, cheese, and olives, and this last layer that I'm doing with the corn tortillas is going to be the top. So I just do those, dip those in. I'm pouring more enchilada sauce into my bowl, making a little bit of a mess. And then to top it off, I do put more cheese on the top and then a little bit of olives on the top, just to kind of show me where my olive side is in case it gets turned in the oven. And also they're just really good on top. Sometimes when I make this, I just pour the leftover enchilada sauce over it, but I have found that for some reason, even if it's mild enchilada sauce, it still gets kind of spicy and it's a little bit soupy. So when I went to clean up, I don't think I recorded that, I just poured the enchilada sauce into a container and put it in my refrigerator because I still had more tortillas and chicken and cheese, and essentially I could make a smaller version of this later. This is out of the oven. I should have waited a few minutes to let it cool down, but we were very hungry, so I started cutting it, and I can't touch it with my other hand because the pan's too hot. So basically, I just slice it up. I tried to keep that olive barrier pretty defined for my kids. And then I'll show you in a second that I take it out and I show you a slice. But this is one of their favorites. And thanks for watching.